speaking of transitioning to live, do we jump into episode 3?
Episode 3. Yes. So I want to give my initial thoughts on 3 and 4, and then we'll dive specifically into them. I thought it was really interesting getting essentially like a live golf perspective and then a PJ Tour perspective. Both journeyman stories, I would say. Like, yes, Poulter has had a more success on tour, especially being a Ryder Cup legend, if you will, for the Europeans, which he absolutely is. And then the Joel Damon guy, who's just more of the common guy who just happens to be really good at hitting a golf ball.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Joel Damon's story, even though I kind of knew about it in advance. It still was like really cool to see.
Yeah.
Poulter's, I found a little less interesting knowing the outcome already of where we were headed, but uh, seeing him throw sticks too just kind of made me happy in the locker room when he found
Yeah.
out he didn't make Augusta. But those are my initial thoughts. So T-Bone, break us down episode 3, Ian Poulter.
So, first off, I saw episode 1 and it's JT and Spieth, and they're essentially splitting an episode. So, when I'm getting more than halfway through the episode 3, I'm like, oh, this is all Poulter. I was kind of surprised that they would dedicate a full episode to him, and even to Joel Damon too, when you have Spieth and JT kind of splitting an episode. But
Great point.
I think
Great point.
the golf world does not like Ian Poulter, majority of the golf world, and I've always kind of liked him. And I think part of it is because of the fashion sense, for better or for worse, with Ian Poulter. But I've always respected the hell out of some of his outfits. So that was probably the scene where they go into his closet. He's packing for the PGA Championship. That was freaking awesome, and
You
I
loved it.
love getting to see his different plaid outfits and his son trying on all of his Oakleys and stuff. I thought that was really cool because when I think of Ian Poulter, I think of fashion. Um, so I thought that was
It's like
really
the
entertaining.
the frosted tips from the mid 2000s. Unbelievable. Nobody should have done that. Who was it? NSYNC and Backstreet Boys made that popular, I think. Man,
Yeah,
that was what he had the skinny visor too. He just in the
yeah,
plaid pants. It was a whole persona that he had taken on.
yeah. No, that he had some incredible outfits and looks, and he actually had his own clothing brand that ended up going out of business, but that's for another time. But um, a few other things, I think kind of so the theme of the episode is he's kind of on the back end of his career. He's struggling. Um, him losing his shit in the locker room was great, and I think probably all the golf fans out there saw the pic of that scene that ended up getting kind of thrown throughout social media of just the handles of Tito's sitting in this locker. Um, I thought that was really funny, but I think one thing that was kind of like I don't know about this episode was, it's almost like he's a veteran, he's struggling, doesn't really know like what his future is, so he needs to chase the paycheck. And I was like, yeah, he needs to chase a paycheck because he's flying his family private to another to across the pond. I was like, I mean, do you want me to feel bad for you? Kinda, but like, you've got a nice life. You and your kids are putting on the private jet. Like, I mean, so that's when I was like, okay, whatever. Like I get it, and we've talked a lot about like Charles Howell going to live. It makes sense for these guys, but it's almost like I still need to make money, and I think they just maybe hit on that a little too much for my liking. When he's
It's like
flying.
don't act like woe is me when you're flying private over to Europe.
Yeah,
Like in how much money he's made tens of millions of dollars just from on course earnings outside of his endorsements.
yeah,
I don't have much sympathy. Well, yeah, because they were making a big deal too of him missing the cut, which I thought
yeah.
he did have a good line where he was like, "I don't like working for free, and when I
Yeah.
miss a cut, I'm working for free."
And then he
That
got
was
on a
like,
private
okay, I
jet
got that. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but honestly, I thought he seems like a really cool dude to hang with. Seems like a great dad. His son, who was briefly shown in the episode, committed to Florida or is maybe there right now. So pretty cool to see the father son relationship there. But yeah, I think a lot of people hate Poulter. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan. And again, it is kind of sad, seeing that he potentially jeopardized his Ryder Cup career, and he would 100% be a captain in the future, which is a huge deal. And the Ryder Cup's such a huge deal to him, so that's kind of, I don't know. But kind of the last thing about that episode is when it shows him playing in the first live event, makes it look super badass. They're playing like hyped up music and all this stuff. I was like, I don't think that's the case, but I thought it was a cool episode. It's probably, if I had to poll the general uh, golf fan public on their least favorite episode, I bet a lot of people would pick this one just because it's pretty long. A lot of people don't like Poulter, but I thought it was good. And yeah, good contrast going over, to now we kind of talk about Damon, that live golf versus PGA Tour lifestyle. So I'll let you kick us off on the Joel Damon episode. There's got to be a part of that episode that was your favorite, because there was one for me that I was like, this is made this probably the best episode of the show. But I'll let you talk about it
Ooh,
first. See if there's
I'm
a
trying to.
certain scene that stood out to you. There was one for me. I was like, this guy's incredible.
Well, the one quote that a lot of people are talking about right now is Joel Damon saying, "Hey, somebody's got to be the 70th best player in the world. Might as well be me." Like, and he's almost too realistic. I think he said at one point, like, I might be too down on myself. I think so. Like, the guy can flat out play some golf.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really liked his caddy as well. A great episode for the caddy. I
yeah,
in general. I don't think Netflix should do this because it wouldn't get the eyeballs, but the PGA Tour wanted to put together some sort of caddy documentary style like that. They 1 billion% could. They could get such good content because the caddies are sick out there. Like
I
caddies
was
is the most underappreciated job.
their banter was incredible. When there's one point he called him a boner, uh, which honestly I was pretty shocked by that. And I bet that's not too common out there. But
Yeah,
also when they're playing,
that was probably one of the nicer things he said to him too. Like
yeah,
it would be like of us playing golf. If I'm on the back for you, I'd be like, nice hit, idiot. Or just
yeah. Well, there's another point where he's like, should I look at earlier flights? When he's has good chance of making the cut. But no, their
he's like,
relationship was awesome. But
yeah. What do he say? Oh, there's a flight at 3, but I got to leave the course right now.
yeah,
He has like 5 holes to play.
yeah. No, that was so good. But the the part of the episode that just was incredible to me was the US Open qualifier, and he shoots even on the first 18 and he's like, fuck it, I'm getting 2 White Claws at lunch. That was so cool for me to see, just because I think no pro golfer would do that. And I think it just showed a unique side of him that really, shows how different he is from a lot of players there on tour. So I loved that. And then not only for him to, have a couple drinks, but shoot 5 under and qualify for the US Open and then compete. That was like such a great series of events to wrap up that episode. I thought it was awesome.
He said something really profound there when he realized that he was out of it, out of winning the tournament, but still said, still got something to play for." Ended up getting top 10. Not necessarily life changing, but he gets into a lot of tournaments with the top 10 finish in the major. A lot of money, world ranking points, everything that goes along with it. So Joel Damon got a lot of fans after this episode, I would say. You know who
Yeah.
that reminded me of? That reminded me of Kyle. How like Kyle playing sober just isn't great. You throw a couple of beers in him and then he's good to go.
I don't think Kyle would just have 2 White Claws at lunch though. Um,
Nah.
I remember
Nah,
correctly. I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, I don't think he just limits it to two at lunch.
no.
But hey, we'll let him speak on his behalf. We won't speak for him. But yeah, no, that was such a good episode. Definitely gained a lot of fans. He's awesome.
That's right. So that's a recap, 3 and 4.